Now we have all seen them! The Gold Skulltulas, mysterious creatures with powers that are unlike any other seen in the Zelda franchise. If you are cursed by them, you will turn into a horrible spider creature, and you will never be able to become human again unless somebody helps you. They have been seen in multiple games, but where does this curse come from? Why do some people fall prey to it? And might Ganondorf be involved somehow? Well, today, we will look into all of this. Now, all of this started a long time ago during the era of the hero. This is when we first encountered these horrible beings. They are hidden all throughout Hyrule and are known to curse people, which also happened in Ocarina of Time. One family was once fabulously rich, but were cursed due to their greed, and so they turned into horrible Hylian Skulltula hybrids. If you go to their house, they will tell you to collect tokens from the 100 gold Skulltulas in Hyrule. This frees each family member from the curse one by one, and in the end they are all back to normal and the curse is broken. Now these creatures can be found anywhere from fields to dungeons, although they will only appear above ground during the night, so it is clear that they don't like sunlight. And overall, they are easy to kill. So the challenge of this curse is that you need to find someone else who is willing to save you. Which is actually quite fitting for a curse that afflicts the greedy because it forces you to be more humble, and you might have a hard time finding someone because you screw people over because you're greedy. It is truly fascinating how it works. The curse attaches itself to people who have committed the sin of greed, and in order to get rid of it, they need to confront that. But how did this family in Ocarina of Time get cursed in the first place? Well, it turns out that Ganondorf is actually behind this. Now, I highly doubt that he created this curse for reasons I will talk about later, but it does seem like he used his dark magic to create the Gold Skulltula seen in Ocarina of Time, or at least in order to cast the curse. And before we dive into the possible origins of this curse, let's think about what happened here for a bit. Why did Ganondorf actually trick and curse them using the Gold Skulltulas? There must be a reason for it after all, right? Well, yes, it seems like he did this to further his own agenda. You know, the one about conquering the entirety of Hyrule? Because several years prior to Ocarina of Time, the Hyrulean Civil War ended with the unification of the various races of Hyrule under the royal family. This included the Gerudo, with Ganondorf swearing fealty to the King of Hyrule, and the Gerudo Desert was now under their control. But in truth, Ganondorf only did this so he could move freely throughout the country, and to get close to the king as well as other races so he could get his hands on the Triforce. And personally, I think Ganondorf cursed the rich family because they were close to the king and might have been against him. We know they are rich and very influential. Even the royal family of Dozora know all about them. Aside from that, they are most likely Sheikahs because if you go inside their house, you can see they own a book with the Sheikah symbol on it. But that's not all, they also own the Stone of Agony, a rare Sheikah artifact that, according to the Great Hyrule Encyclopedia, is a companion relic to the Lens of Truth. So there's a good chance that this family has actually lived here for a long time and are related to the Sheikahs in some way at least. And Ganondorf most likely cursed them using the Gold Skulltulas so he could work his way into the inner circle of the royal family. However, where does this curse even come from? Well, it seems like it doesn't originate from Hyrule at all, but actually Termina. Because hidden in the southern swamp of the land, you will find a strange little building that looks quite normal on the outside, but once you go in, you will be shocked. I'm talking about the Spider House, and inside of it, you will also find a man who is consumed by the Gold Skulltula curse. Apparently, someone told him that he could become rich by visiting this house, and that person said that the instructions to become rich were written somewhere in the Spider House. But as the man went in to go look, he became cursed and turned into a Skulltula-like creature. And so you tried to help him by defeating all the Gold Skulltulas. However, if you look around this place, you will notice something. The architecture inside this place is incredible, with gigantic golden spiders on the wall, with beautiful blue gems in their eyes. And you can even see that some of these gems are missing. So maybe the cursed man took those and so he became cursed. You know, greed and everything, which this place kind of plays into because it's filled with gold and gems and all kinds of other treasure. Although some sources also state that it was the mask that ultimately cursed him, because he put it on, which was an act of greed, and the mystical powers of this place then cursed him. But regardless of that, you can see that this isn't a normal house. It actually looks like a temple of sorts. And I think this is where the curse originates from. It looks like people actually worship them, or used to at least. It could even be that there's some sort of gold sculptula deity that looks similar to the golden ones found on the wall here. In general, this place is beyond interesting, but sadly enough, there isn't a lot of information. Sure, there's some sort of stone tablet with writing on it in one room, but I have no idea what it says. However, there's another spider house that has some interesting clues in it, because this place seemed to be the base for some sort of gold sculpture cult. When you go there, you can see that the place is filled with all kinds of spider decorations. You see it on the doors, the gate that you need to get past near the entrance, the chandeliers, and that's just the beginning. There are spiders everywhere. Aside from that, there's a huge library and some sort of meeting room. And on the doors, there's also something interesting. You can see a spider and some text below it that's in Hylian. If you translate it from Hylian to English, it says Hirake, which means beginning, civilization, and enlightenment in Japanese. So maybe the door says spider beginning, spider civilization, or the enlightenment of the spider. All of this shows that this place was built for the golden sculptulas, but it isn't like the temple that was seen in the swamp. It seems like that place was some sort of ancient temple, and it might be that the curse and gold sculptulas originally came from there, while this place seems to be the former base of some sort of cult, or someone who is studying these creatures. Now in the end, we have no idea what happened to them, and even the Stel children who are investigating the place have no idea. It could be that this place became infested with gold sculptulas and therefore cursed thanks to the Skull Kid, because it's possible that under the influence of Majora's Mask, the Skull Kid placed a curse on the location, thus explaining the presence of his portraits and the gold sculptulas. If this is the case, then it would be similar to what we saw in Hyrule with the rich family that was cursed thanks to Ganondorf. But we can't be certain about this. It could also be that the members of the cult accessed the powers of the curse and became cursed themselves. There are 2 sculptulas inside of this place after all. So far, it at least looks like the curse originally came from the spider house in the swamp, and it's tied to some sort of god, because that place was clearly a temple of sorts. And using dark magic, you can use this specific curse to affect others. It seems like the deity behind this curse isn't necessarily good. However, the curse does punish someone for a sin. So, is it really evil or just cold and benevolent? Who knows really? At the end of the day, there isn't a whole lot of information on these creatures. But one thing is certain. Anyone who comes into contact with this curse meets a horrible fate. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave your theories on what the spider curse could be and like the spider houses, what they were for and whatnot. I would love to hear them down below. This is what I could find at least. If you liked the video, be sure to like it, subscribe, click the bell button, do all the good stuff. Help Papa Wily. I appreciate. Kisses. Mwah.